Okay, the dust has finally settled on what has literally been the most grueling, chaotic, and just massively expansive tournament in football history. I mean, think about it, 100 matches. That's more than a quarter of an entire Premier League season crammed into just 4 exhausting weeks. But man, the gauntlet has been thrown down, and we are now staring at a truly seismic conclusion. An epic semifinal stage filled with pure footballing royalty. Remember where we started? 5 weeks ago, we kicked off this unprecedented journey with 48 teams, all dreaming of global glory. Now, I know the critics were loud at the start, right? People were worried that more teams would just mean more mismatches and heavy legs. And sure, the early group stages had some real grinders. But as this thing progressed, the expanded field totally proved its worth. We got genuine, breathtaking storylines that a smaller tournament would have absolutely never given us. But here's the thing. The brutal crucible of these knockout stages, it has mercilessly boiled that massive field down to just 4. From a starting line of 48, we're left with exactly 4 genuine, undisputed giants of the sport. Every single underdog, every dark horse, every Cinderella story, boom, completely wiped off the board. And what is truly historic about this, and honestly kind of mind-blowing, is the sheer weight of who actually survived. For the very first time in World Cup history, the semifinal field is made up exclusively of the top 4 FIFA-ranked teams on the planet: Argentina, France, Spain, and England. No fairy tales left, guys, just pure, unadulterated heavyweights ready to trade some serious blows. Matchup number 1, France versus Spain. 2 European heavyweights colliding. Our first clash takes us down to Dallas, pitting the 2018 world champs, France, against the 2010 champs, Spain. Now, looking at France, Didier Deschamps' squad has just been an absolute machine. They've totally relied on this terrifying clinical efficiency and blistering counterattacks to reach their 3rd straight World Cup semifinal. I mean, in the quarters, they completely neutralized a really dangerous Moroccan side, just cruising to a business-like 2-0 win with strikes from Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembélé. And by the way, Mbappe is incredibly on course to reach the World Cup final in all 3 of his appearances. Unbelievable. This matchup is just a fascinating cinematic contrast. On one hand, you've got Mbappe's seasoned, relentless drive for championships. And on the other, you have the proudly positive Spanish phenom teenager Lamine Yamal. Yamal has made zero secret of his immense confidence heading into this tie, boldly proclaiming that if France should fear anyone, it's Spain. It is literally the veteran superstar squaring off against fearless youth. But look, Spain's journey hasn't just been about youthful swagger. It's been an absolute tactical masterclass. They scraped through thanks to Mikel Merino's late-game heroics, that dramatic 88th-minute winner to edge past Belgium 2-1. But more importantly, manager Luis de la Fuente has essentially turned the clock right back to their 2010 era. They are playing a suffocating, possession-heavy style. Despite playing the most games of any side, La Raja has miraculously conceded the lowest expected goals of the entire tournament. But when you dig into the head-to-head history, you get this really fascinating contradiction. So Spain holds the overall historical advantage, right? 18 wins to France's 13 across 38 all-time meetings. But the World Cup tells a very different story. In their single, solitary meeting on the biggest stage of them all, France walked away with the win. So the historical advantage belongs to Spain, sure, but the World Cup pedigree, that leans straight toward Les Bleus. So, as we gear up for this incredible tactical battle, the monumental cliffhanger here is this. Will Spain's fluid passing network and their ability to strangle the tempo be enough to stop the lethal, game-breaking speed of the French counterattack? Or is Mbappe just going to outrun the entire Spanish system? If you're enjoying this documentary, subscribe to Flop Files and share this video with a football fan. We uncover the stories behind football's greatest moments and biggest comebacks. All right, on to matchup number 2, England versus Argentina. A true rematch of football's most storied rivalry. This semifinal in Atlanta, it isn't just a game. It's a deeply storied, bitter international rivalry preparing to write its next blockbuster chapter. And it gives us this breathtaking clash of generational talismans. It pits Jude Bellingham's immense, pressure-packed rescues for a deeply resilient England against Lionel Messi's enduring, extra-time magic for the defending world champs. We're talking raw power and gritty determination going head-to-head with timeless genius and unmatched vision. Let's talk about England for a second. Their World Cup run has been an absolute roller coaster, frankly inspiring more existential crises than a lifetime of therapy. They faced intense criticism, even drawing some serious heat from Thomas Tuchel over their performances. Yet despite all that noise, they've shown this incredible, gritty tournament resilience. Pushed deep into extra time by a super physical Norwegian outfit, Jude Bellingham's heroic brace secured a wild 2-1 win. That booked England into only their fourth ever World Cup semifinal, desperately chasing their first title since 1966. Meanwhile, Argentina proved their undeniable championship medal by surviving a brutal, totally chaotic extra-time scare against Switzerland. After an early messy masterclass, the Swiss actually fought back and dragged the champions into deep waters. But that is exactly where Argentina's staggering squad depth proved decisive. I mean, they still feature 17 battle-tested players from their Qatar triumph. Late, dramatic extra-time strikes from Julian Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez sealed a really grueling 3-1 victory. And you just cannot ignore the sheer historic weight of this fixture. These two nations have collided 14 times overall, but crucially, they have ignited the World Cup stage 5 separate times, from the infamous Hand of God in 1986 to that dramatic, gut-wrenching penalty shootout in 1998. This rivalry is quite literally built on high-stakes drama and unforgettable controversy. So, as the ghosts of past heartbreaks loom incredibly large over the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, we are just left hanging on the edge of our seats. Can the Three Lions finally topple the South American Kings and rewrite decades of painful history? Or will Messi's battle-tested giants crush English dreams once again? Now, running parallel to this quest for Team Glory, there is a totally ferocious Golden Boot race unfolding. Because we have the top 4 teams in the world left standing, we are watching a direct shootout between the absolute most elite attackers on the planet. I'm talking a direct 4-way battle between Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, Harry Kane, and Jude Bellingham. With these 4 titans ready for battle, the suspense on an individual level is just off the charts. Which of these legendary forwards is going to carve their name into the history books as the tournament's top scorer? Because every single goal in these semifinals, it won't just edge a nation closer to a trophy. It's going to tip the scales of footballing immortality. All of this relentless drama, the survival, the tactical mastery we've seen over the last 100 matches, it all leads to a single, historic destination. This Sunday, July 19th, at MetLife Stadium in New York and New Jersey, the 2 survivors of this brutal Final Four will finally walk out onto the pitch for the ultimate prize in sports. 48 teams began this World Cup. Now, for the first time ever, it's exactly the 4 teams the rankings said it should be. No fairy tales left standing, just 4 genuine giants and 1 trophy left to fight for. Thanks for watching Flop Files.